A fourth body has been found on the Brighton coastline, and on the very same day, the inquest into the three Brighton sisters revealed something the public did not expect. Their cause of death is still unknown. Not confirmed drowning, not a final medical answer, not a closed explanation, yet to be ascertained. That is the phrase that has changed the entire conversation. Jane Adetoro, Christina Walters, Rebecca Walters, three sisters found dead in the sea off Brighton on May 13th. Then, just over 2 weeks later, a man's body is found on Rottingdean Beach, along the same stretch of coastline. Police have not linked that man to the sisters. He had not been formally identified when the first reports came out. But the timing has made the public ask harder questions, because this case already had unanswered questions. Now it has more. Why is the cause of death still not clear? What did the post-mortems show? Was water found in their lungs? Were there injuries? Did they die in the water? Or did something happen before the water? Why was Rebecca washed onto the beach, while Jane and Christina were recovered from the sea? What did CCTV show? How did the sisters get to Brighton? And why does another body found nearby make the whole coastline feel even darker? Police say there is no evidence of criminality or third-party involvement at this stage. But the public is asking for more than reassurance. The public wants the full chain, the route, the cameras, the medical findings, the witness timeline, the tide movement, the final minutes, and now the identity and circumstances of the fourth body. Before we go deeper, like this video and subscribe to True Crime Greyson. This case has entered a new stage, and the biggest update is not rumor. It is the inquest revealing that the sisters' cause of death is still not known. The fourth body was found at Rottingdean Beach on Friday morning, May 29th. Rottingdean is along the coast from Brighton. It is not the same exact spot where the sisters were recovered, but it is close enough for the public to notice, close enough for people to ask questions, close enough to make the timing feel uncomfortable. Police were called after a report of a man's body found on the beach. A cordon remained in place. Inquiries continued. The man had not been formally identified in the early reporting. No official report connected him to Jane, Christina, or Rebecca. That point matters, because connection is not something the public can invent. Police have not said this fourth death is linked. No verified source has said the man was related to the sisters. No verified source has said he was part of their timeline. No verified source has said he was with them. But in true crime, timing changes perception. When one body is found along a coastline, people pay attention. When three sisters are found dead in the sea, people are shocked. When a fourth body appears along the same coastline 2 weeks later, and the sisters' cause of death is still unknown, people start asking whether Brighton has more to explain. That is where the new episode begins. Not with certainty, with pressure, because the public has already been told one thing again and again. No evidence of foul play so far. No evidence of third-party involvement so far. No one else is currently suspected. But then the inquest opens, and the cause of death is still unascertained. That is what people are struggling with. How can police be satisfied there is no third-party involvement, while the medical cause of death is still not established publicly? The answer may be that police have evidence the public has not seen. CCTV, scene information, witness statements, tide analysis, recovery details, phone data. The answer may be that investigators already know enough to say there is no sign of another person being involved, even while medical testing continues. But the public does not have those details yet, and that gap is where suspicion grows, because no evidence of criminality tells people what police have not found. It does not tell people exactly what happened. It does not explain how 3 women entered the water. It does not explain why one was washed onto the beach. It does not explain whether they drowned. It does not explain what post-mortems found. It does not explain what the cameras showed. It does not explain how they arrived from London. It does not explain why no emergency call from the sisters has been made public. And now, it does not explain why another body was found along the coastline on the same day the inquest opened. That is why people are not satisfied. The biggest update from the inquest is not dramatic language. It is medical uncertainty. Preliminary post-mortems did not establish a cause of death. The provisional cause remains yet to be ascertained. That means more testing is needed. That means the public cannot honestly keep saying they drowned as if the medical conclusion has already been finalized. They were found in the sea. They were recovered from Rottingdean Beach. But the inquest has not yet confirmed the exact cause of death. That changes the wording. It changes the questions. It changes the tension. Because if the cause of death is unascertained, then the public's medical questions become even stronger. Was water found in their lungs? Were there signs consistent with drowning? Were there injuries? Were those injuries consistent with the beach, rocks, recovery, or something else? Was toxicology done? Was there any medical condition? Were they alive when they entered the water? Did all three die the same way? Did they die at the same time? Did the sea move them after death? Did one sister die before the others? Those questions are not small. They are central. And the inquest has now made them unavoidable. The other detail from the inquest that has people talking is the recovery pattern. Jane was brought ashore by an RNLI crew. Christina was recovered from the water. Rebecca was washed onto Brighton Beach. That is not an accusation, but it is a question. Why were two sisters recovered from the sea while one was washed onto the beach? Was it tide movement? Was it timing? Was it wave action? Was Rebecca closer to shore? Did all three enter the water in the same area? Did the sea separate them? Did the current move them differently? Were they found near the same point, or spread along the shoreline? These are the kind of details the public wants explained. Because when three sisters are found in different positions around the same incident, people naturally ask what the water did, what time passed, and where the first emergency began. The first emergency call came after concerns were raised for a person's welfare. That wording matters. A person, not three. That does not mean anything sinister by itself. Emergency scenes often begin with partial information. Someone sees one person in trouble. Responders arrive. More is found. The scene expands. But in this case, it adds to the tension. At first, someone raises concern for one person. Then, three sisters are recovered. Now, 2 weeks later, another man is found on a nearby beach. The public is asking whether these are separate tragedies along the same coast, or whether investigators still have more to uncover. The official answer right now is clear. No link has been reported. No connection has been established. The fourth body is a separate incident, unless police say otherwise. But the audience reaction is also clear. People are watching the coastline now. They're looking at Brighton, Black Rock, Madeira Drive, the marina, Rottingdean, and the stretch of water between them. They are asking whether currents can move bodies. They are asking whether someone could enter at one point and be found at another. They are asking why the fourth body was not immediately connected to a heat wave or a known water incident. They are asking who the man was. They are asking how long he had been there. They are asking whether he entered the water or was found on land. They are asking if CCTV captured him too. And they are asking whether police will explain enough to stop the speculation before it grows. The answer to all of that starts with evidence: identity, time, location, cause of death, CCTV, witnesses, medical examination, police timeline. Until those details come out, the fourth body will sit like a shadow over the Brighton sisters case, even without an official link. That is what makes this update powerful. The fourth body may not be connected, but it has appeared at the worst possible moment for public trust. Right when people were waiting for the inquest to explain the sisters' deaths, the inquest instead said the cause is still unknown. Then the same day, another body is found nearby. That is why the story feels bigger, because the public was looking for answers and got more questions. Jane, Christina, and Rebecca were from the London area. Reports say They had lived together in Greenford. Earlier police reporting linked them to the Uxbridge area. They were sisters. They were adults. They were not tourists casually named in a simple accident. They were three women with a shared home, a shared family history, and a shared final journey to Brighton. The public has already asked how they got there. That question matters even more now. Did they take a train? Did they drive? Did someone drop them off? Was there a taxi? Were they seen at a station? Were they seen on a bus? Were they captured by cameras near the seafront? Did phone data show the route? Did bank records show a journey? Did any witness see them arrive? Were they alone? Were they with anyone? Did they plan to go to Brighton? Did anyone know they were leaving? These questions have not disappeared. The fourth body only makes them louder. Because if another person is found on the same coastline, the public will ask whether the area had broader danger that morning, or whether all these deaths are truly separate. That is why the route matters. If the sisters were seen alone from arrival to beach, that supports one direction. If they were seen with someone else, that changes the public discussion. If they were never clearly seen approaching the beach, that raises another question. If cameras show them near Madeira Drive shortly before the call, that narrows the timeline. If cameras show them hours earlier and then nothing, the gap remains. CCTV is the evidence people want most. The camera timeline can answer what the police statement cannot. It can show whether the sisters were alone. It can show whether they looked calm. It can show whether they were in distress. It can show whether they were walking toward the beach together. It can show whether one went ahead. It can show whether anyone followed them. It can show whether they were near Black Rock, Madeira Drive, or another point before the water. And now, in the fourth body case, CCTV may also show whether the man at Rottingdean was alone, how he arrived, and whether his death belongs to a separate timeline. This is why people keep saying the same thing. Show the timeline. Not every private detail. Not every graphic detail. The timeline. Because right now, the public has the aftermath. 3 sisters found. A 4th body found. But the public does not have the lead up. And without the lead up, people will keep filling the gap themselves. The next issue is the post-mortem. The post-mortem update is the real center of this episode. For weeks, many headlines and commentators used the word drowning, but the inquest now tells us the cause of death is still unascertained. That means the medical answer is not final. This is where the viewer question becomes serious. Was water found in their lungs? That question may sound simple, but it is one of the biggest questions in the case. Because when someone is found in water, the medical examiner has to determine whether they drowned in the water or whether the body entered the water after death. That distinction matters. The lungs may provide information. The airways may provide information. Injuries may provide information. Toxicology may provide information. The condition of the bodies may provide information. The recovery locations may provide information. But the public has not seen the full medical findings. So the public cannot answer the question. That is exactly why the inquest matters. The inquest may eventually tell the public whether drowning was confirmed, whether the cause remained unclear, whether further tests change the picture, and whether the evidence supports accident. Until then, the honest update is this. The sisters were found in or near the sea. Police do not suspect third-party involvement at this stage, but their cause of death has not yet been publicly established. That sentence is powerful enough. It does not need exaggeration. It does not need accusation. It is already unsettling, because it means the case is still medically open, and that medical uncertainty sits beside the 4th body found along the coast. That is why people feel the mystery has deepened. The 4th body at Rottingdean is also a reminder that the sea can hold answers for days, even weeks, before returning them. A body found on a beach does not automatically mean foul play. People die in water incidents. People are carried by tides. People wash ashore after accidents. But in a case where 3 sisters were already found dead along the Brighton seafront, another body nearby naturally becomes part of public concern. The official line is not connection. The public feeling is pattern. That difference matters. A pattern in public feeling is not evidence, but it is a reason for authorities to communicate clearly. Who was the man? When did he enter the water? If he entered the water, where was he last seen? Was the death being treated as suspicious? Was there any link to missing person reports? Did CCTV capture his movements? Was he from the area? Was he connected to Brighton? Was he connected to Rottingdean? Was he connected to any wider incident? Those answers will decide whether the fourth body fades as a separate tragedy or becomes part of a larger public conversation. A man's body was found along the same broad coastline after the sisters' deaths, but no official connection has been reported. That line keeps the curiosity without crossing into false claim. Then the real question becomes, why are so many deaths being discussed along this stretch of coastline? And what does each investigation show? That is where a strong episode can sit. Not this proves they are linked, but this makes the unanswered questions harder to ignore. The inquest also revealed how each sister was formally identified. Their father, Joseph Jacobson, attended remotely. The coroner expressed condolences. The court heard the loss must be unbearable. This detail matters because people online have questioned names, family structure, photos, and identity. The father's role in identification is now part of the public record, but public doubt has not disappeared. Some viewers are still asking why the sisters had limited public photos, why an AI-generated image was used, why few friends, co-workers, or partners have spoken publicly, why one sister had a different surname, why the family's recent public footprint appears so limited. Those questions are part of public opinion now. They should be addressed without accusation. A private life is not suspicious by itself. Not everyone lives online. Not everyone has public friends posting tributes. Not every coworker wants to speak to media. Not every family releases recent photos. A different surname can mean marriage, divorce, family naming, personal choice, or several other private reasons. But the public's concern is really about something deeper. People feel they know almost nothing about the sisters' recent lives. And when three adults die together under unusual circumstances, the public expects to hear from someone who knew them recently. A friend, a neighbor, a coworker, a partner, a church member, someone who saw them before Brighton, someone who knew why they traveled, someone who can say whether the trip was planned or sudden. That silence does not prove foul play, but it keeps people unsettled. The AI image became part of that same feeling. The family used a generated image because there was reportedly no recent group photo of all three sisters together. That explanation is simple. But the public did not only react to the image. They reacted to what the image represented. Missing recent visuals. Missing public voices. Missing route. Missing cause of death. Missing CCTV summary. Missing medical answer. When too many pieces feel missing at once, even a photo becomes part of the mystery. That is why this update needs to return again and again to what can answer the case. Not speculation. Evidence. Post-mortem. CCTV. Phone data. Witnesses. Inquest. Police records. Tide movement. Recovery positions. The fourth body investigation. These are the pillars. The recovery positions of the sisters deserve more attention. Jane was brought ashore by RNLI. Christina was recovered from the water. Rebecca was washed onto the beach. That raises a natural question about the movement of the sea. If all three entered the water together, how did their positions differ? Were they separated by current? Were they at different distances from shore? Did one remain closer to the beach? Were they found at different times? Did the incoming tide push Rebecca onto shore? Were Jane and Christina still beyond the edge where RNLE needed to recover them? Those are technical questions. They do not imply foul play. They require tide and current analysis. Brighton's coastline has movement. Wind, tide, shoreline shape, and wave action can move bodies differently. A person close to shore may wash up while another remains in the water. That is possible, but the public wants experts to explain it. Because in a case this strange, people do not want assumptions. They want reconstruction. A reconstruction would answer what happened, minute by minute, where they entered, where they were first spotted, where responders found them, how the sea moved them, what time each was recovered, what the conditions were, how the recovery positions fit the accident theory. That is the kind of detail that makes a case understandable. Without it, the public hears fragments. 1 on the beach, 2 in the water, cause unknown, no third party, 4th body nearby, and the fragments do not feel complete. The no call for help question is still important. If one sister fell in, why was there no known call from the others? This does not prove a crime. It may prove how fast the emergency unfolded. Phones may have been in bags. Phones may have been wet. Phones may have been left behind. They may have rushed in without thinking. Cold water shock may have overwhelmed them. A person trying to rescue a loved one may not stop to unlock a phone. A scream may have been heard by someone else, leading to the welfare call. But these are possibilities. The public wants facts. Were their phones found? Were they with them? Were they on the beach? Were they in bags? Were they water damaged? Did any phone call emergency services? Did any phone show movement? Did any phone show final messages? Did phone data show them traveling to Brighton? If phone data exists, it can answer the root question and the emergency question at the same time. That is why the phone trail matters so much. And now, with another body found at Rottingdean, the phone trail question may expand. Did the 4th person have a phone? Was there a missing person report? Was his movement captured? Was he local? Was he traveling? These details are not public yet, but they will shape whether people continue connecting the cases. The public concern around black women and water deaths is still present. This case involves 3 black sisters. Many viewers have already connected it to broader fears about black women being found near water and cases being explained too quickly. That concern does not prove what happened here, but it explains the intensity of public reaction. People are not only reacting to Brighton. They are reacting to previous cases. They are reacting to distrust. They are reacting to the feeling that families are sometimes asked to accept short answers in situations that demand long explanations. That is why the police statement has not calmed everyone. Because the community wants a transparent timeline, not only reassurance. The inquest is a chance to provide that transparency. It can address cause of death. It can address medical findings. It can address recovery locations. It can address whether further testing is needed. It can address whether police still believe no one else was involved. It can address why the case is adjourned until October. It can give the family and the public a clearer foundation. But the first hearing did not give final answers. It opened the door and showed there is still more to know. That is what makes the next hearing important. October 8th is now a key date. Until then, the cause remains unascertained. The 4th body remains unlinked publicly. The CCTV timeline remains unreleased. The post-mortem questions remain open. The route from London remains under public discussion, and the public will keep asking. The 4th body also changes the emotional tone of the Brighton coastline. Before, people were asking how 3 sisters died in the sea. Now they are asking what is happening along that coast. Again, that does not mean the incidents are connected, but people will naturally see them together because of time and place. A man found at Rottingdean. 3 sisters found off Brighton. Same month. Same coastline. Same day as the inquest. Police have not linked them, but the public will still ask whether the coastline itself is dangerous, whether conditions were unusual, whether warning systems are enough, whether people understand the risks, and whether there were separate incidents that reveal a wider water safety issue. That is a safer and important angle. Maybe the link is not crime. Maybe the link is sea danger. Maybe the link is timing. Maybe the link is only geography. Maybe there is no link at all. But the coastline has become part of the story. And if multiple bodies are found in a short period along the same area, The public will ask whether there is a pattern of accidents, a safety problem, or simply tragic coincidence. Authorities should be prepared to answer that. What were the sea conditions around May 13th? What were the sea conditions around May 29th? Were warning signs visible? Were beaches monitored? Were tide risks known? Were there strong currents? Was there any rescue delay? Were there public safety alerts? Were people told to avoid water? Those answers matter even if no crime exists. Because if the final explanation is accident, there may still be lessons. A dangerous beach can still demand better warnings. A sudden shelf can still demand clearer signage. A cold water emergency can still demand education. A recovery timeline can still demand better safety response. Accident does not mean nothing needs to change. That is a key point. People often think the only serious outcome is foul play, but a tragic accident that takes 3 sisters still deserves serious answers. How did it happen? How can it be prevented? Was the beach known to be dangerous? Were signs clear? Did anyone raise concerns before? Could faster response have changed anything? Did the emergency call come too late? Did people nearby understand what they were seeing? The 4th body may turn out to be unrelated, but it still raises coastal safety questions. And in a case with public distrust, safety questions matter. Now return to the mother. Janice Adetoro also died by drowning years earlier. That detail remains one of the heaviest parts of this family story. Reports say the sisters never fully recovered from that loss. The inquest into their own deaths now raises another painful question. Were the daughters' deaths truly drowning deaths? Or is the cause still unclear? Because if the cause remains unascertained, even the emotional parallel with their mother becomes more complicated. People have been saying mother drowned, daughters drowned, but the daughter's cause is not yet confirmed publicly. They were found in the sea. They may have drowned, but the inquest says the cause is not yet established. That is an important distinction. It means the case must be described carefully. Their mother's death is a tragic family history. Their deaths are still under medical investigation. Was their mother's drowning connected to why they went near water? Was Brighton a place tied to grief? Were they visiting the sea for a private reason? Or was the connection only a painful coincidence discovered after they were gone? Those questions remain, and the public may never get a full emotional answer unless evidence from phones, messages, family statements, or witness accounts explains why they went to Brighton. This is why the route matters, as much as the cause of death. The route tells why they got there. The medical evidence tells how they died. The CCTV tells what happened before the water. The tide explains what happened after. The inquest must bring those together. That is the only way this case becomes more than fragments. Right now, the strongest confirmed facts are these. 3 sisters were found off Brighton on May 13th. Emergency services were called around 5:45 in the morning. Jane and Christina were recovered by lifeboat crews from the water or brought ashore. Rebecca washed onto the beach. The sisters were identified by their father. Police say they do not suspect third-party involvement. Preliminary post-mortems did not establish a cause of death. The cause remains yet to be ascertained. The inquest has been adjourned until October 8th. A man's body was found on Rottingdean Beach on May 29th. That man has not been officially linked to the sisters. A 4th body. Unknown cause of death. No official link. No final medical answer. No full public timeline. No clear public route. No released CCTV summary. No answer yet on whether the sisters drowned. That is the story now. The phrase cause of death unknown is stronger than any rumor because it comes from the inquest. It means the medical evidence has not yet closed the case. And when medical evidence is not closed, the public will not be closed either. At this point, like this video and subscribe to True Crime Greyson for updates on the Brighton sisters case. This is no longer just about what happened on May 13th. It is now about the 4th body, the unascertained cause of death, the October inquest, and whether the evidence will finally explain what the sea has not. The biggest public questions now are sharp. Is the fourth body connected or separate? Who is the man found at Rottingdean? What was his cause of death? Why was his body found along the same coastline? Why did the sisters' preliminary post-mortems fail to establish cause? Were the sisters alive when they entered the water? Was water found in their lungs? Were there injuries? Did they drown? Was toxicology still pending? Why was Rebecca washed ashore, while Jane and Christina were recovered from the water? What did tide evidence show? What did CCTV show? How did they get to Brighton? Were they alone? Who last spoke to them? Why was the emergency call first about one person? Were there witnesses on the beach? Did anyone hear distress? Was their mother's earlier drowning connected to their decision to go near water? Or is this family facing the cruelest repetition of tragedy without a direct link? And will the October inquest finally give their father and family a complete answer? Those are the questions that will keep this case alive, and they should, because the public does not need to invent a conclusion when the official record itself says the cause is still unknown. That is the difference now. Before, people were questioning the drowning explanation. Now the inquest confirms the cause has not yet been established. Before, people were asking whether the case was over too quickly. Now the case is clearly not over. Before, people were asking why the timeline felt incomplete. Now they are waiting until October for the next stage. Before, the coastline already carried the grief of 3 sisters. Now a 4th body has been found nearby. Again, no official link, but a clear reason for public concern. The final voice of this story belongs to the unanswered evidence. The cameras, the medical reports, the tide, the witnesses, the phones, the inquest. Until those speak clearly, the questions will keep coming. Jane Adetoro, Christina Walters, Rebecca Walters, 3 sisters. 1 Brighton coastline. 1 cause of death still unknown. 1 4th body found nearby with no official link. 1 family waiting for answers. And 1 inquest now carrying the weight of a case that has gripped the public because too much still feels unexplained. If this case has been troubling you, share your thoughts below. What matters most now? The 4th body, the unascertained cause of death, the CCTV timeline, the recovery positions, or the October inquest? Like this video and subscribe to True Crime Greyson for more fact-based updates as the Brighton sisters case continues and the unanswered questions keep growing.